Brian Duncan, the chief starter for the CRA Super Series, on the stand, waving the double checkers. And 100 green flag laps, he'll wave them again. Who will be at the front of the field? A stout field of competitors. Stout field of competitors today, getting ready to go green. 1 to go this time. Fisher, the 81. Eckhoff, the 15. Van Dorn, the 61. And Turner, the 26. Our top 4 starters, the top 4 qualifiers in today's time trial session. Galata just missed the invert. He starts in the number 5 position. He ran in qualifying a much lower lane through turns 3 and 4 than what we're used to seeing here. 0-1 of Travis Braden, one of Jake's CRA All-Stars race here at the end of last season. He starts in the 6th spot, starting 7th. Scott Hance starting 8th. Kenny Tweedy. And then the 54 of Fultz and the 23 of Eddie Van Meter rounding out our top 10 as we are moments away from our green. Well, Sam Pierce Chevrolet CRA pace truck will drop to the infield this time. Fisher at Eckhoff. Coming to green, Eckhoff looking for his first CRA Super Series victory. Fisher has won before. So has Van Dorn, and so has the 26 of Turner. Green flag, turn 4, underway at Winchester. 100 laps to go for the ARCA CRA Super Series. Clean and green, heading to 1. They go to 2, still side by side up front. For the 2nd position now, Fisher slides high. Here comes Van Dorn, the point leader. 2-time series champion, Coopersville, Michigan's Johnny Van Dorn to the runner-up spot. Started to close the door on Fisher, who was still there, but then he gave him room. He clears him coming off of 2. Fisher backpedaling in the 81. The pole sitter, Terry Fisher Jr., having a hard time getting up to speed. He's fallen. Turner stout in practice. He was very good in qualifying. Can he be just as good in the race? He has a great challenge ahead of him, though, as the 61 of Van Dorn leads, and Turner has cleared now. Eckhoff for the number 2 position. Rick Turner running 2nd. Eckhoff in 3rd, 4th place. Nick Galata running 5th, the 72 of Scott Hance. Hance, though, in a battle with Eddie Van Meter in the 23 car. Van Meter's picked up some positions early. Van Meter might be a threat today. From the 10th position, challenging for 3rd. He is strong early in this Winchester 100. Kenny Tweedy on the inside lane, racing with Scott Braden. Clears the number 2 of Tweedy. He will also clear the 15 of Eckhoff. Cozzolino making a move. Contact between Jeff Fultz and Kenny Tweedy. Oh, around goes the 15 of Eckhoff. Hard crash up in the corner. Rustin and the 15 of Eckhoff get together. The 0 of Joe Beaver involved. It all happened when the 15 of Eckhoff got sideways on the bottom lane. He collects the 0 of Beaver. 61 of Van Dorn looking to extend his point lead on his way to possibly his 3rd series championship. Rick Turner on the inside lane. Top 2 qualifiers on our front row for the restart. 80 circuits of green left, and we're back underway, exiting turn 4, and Van Dorn jumps out into the lead via that preferred outside lane. And now is Turner trying to hold off Hance for a second. I think Scott Hance is going to get him. He will, coming off of the corner, so Turner falls back to 3rd. It's the only disadvantage of restarting on the inside of the front row. For the 2nd position, Turner and Hance get together. Turner will make the run to the inside. He and Hance with some contact coming off of 2. Great job by both to continue on. Turner will try to clear the... Oh! And the 23 car of Van Meter gets into Turner, and then Turner gets back into Van Meter, and Turner will spin down in the corner. Jones gets up into the wall, and caution flag is out. Kyle Jones just getting into the turn and maybe getting on the brakes and then getting up into the wall, slapping the right side into the wall, and a little bit of a glancing blow as the wall caught the car. Green flag coming off of turn number 4. Hance on the low side, officially in the 2nd position. Van Dorn setting the pace, coming to green. 3 and 4 on the go button. Here we go. Back to a restart. 29 complete. 71 to go, and Van Dorn will resume as the leader. Van Meter does move into 3rd, but he didn't stay close enough to get around the outside of the 72 car of Scott Hance. Side by side for the number 5 position. The 131 of Nick Galata, the 54 of Jeff Fultz. Field rundown at lap 54, giving you Van Dorn the leader by 3 car lengths over the 72 of Scott Hance. 0-1 of Braden, close to Hance running third. Running fourth is Foltz back 7 car lengths. Nearly a half straightaway behind the trio. The 131 in trouble coming off of turn number 2 as Rex Norris Jr. goes around and brings out the yellow caution flag for the 63 of Rex Norris Jr. from Spiceland, Indiana, the R. Norris Company Chevrolet. So Rex Norris Jr. in the 63 goes around. Solo car spin. Scott Hance on the low lane. Johnny Van Dorn on the outside. Van Dorn leading the way through the middle stages of this race today. 55 complete. The drivers at the front of the field being told to pick up the pace a little bit as they head down into the third corner and come to green. We are back underway. And Johnny Van Dorn with the advantage coming off of turn number 2. Van Dorn on the inside lane. And trouble, backstretch. We've got Eddie Van Meter and Brent Jack getting together. They slide to the bottom. Van Meter continues on. Brent Jack is stopped on the low side, and it's going to bring out a yellow. Caution flag. Brent Jack in the number 41. Eddie Van Meter in the number 23 get together. Brent Jack's car pointed in the wrong direction down in turns 3 and 4 as he and Eddie Van Meter tear up their cars. Van Meter heavy damage on the right front of his ride. Van Dorn leading. Now it's Foltz on the inside. The field shuffles each time we have a yellow right after a restart. An outside lane is the preferred groove. 23 of Van Meter going around. So Van Meter going around, and green flag will come out, and the caution will come out moments later. The 23 of Van Meter spun, and yellow flag will wave for Eddie Van Meter. Gets a good view of the field as they go by. They were coming into the green. That's why the yellow didn't come right away. The drivers were expected to be coming to green, and they knew the 23 of Van Meter was over there. Unfortunately, didn't want to pile up the field on the front straightaway if they went to yellow coming into green. So they give them a half a lap to get slowed back down. But Van Meter in the 23 spins. Sam Pierce Chevrolet CRA pace truck again to pit road, coming to green off of turn 4. Van Dorn and Foltz come to the green, and we're back underway at Winchester Speedway for this 100 lapper. Down into the corner we go. Off the pace a bit, the 76 of Carruth drops back a couple of spots towards the tail end of the field. Scott Hance, Travis Braden for the third position. Hance inside of Braden, and Scott Hance is up to third. Braden back to fourth. For the 7th spot, Lambert, Newick, Casalino, Carruth, Fisher, and Brent Jack. This next time by, the field will see the 10 to go signal. 10 laps remain. Can anyone mount a challenge for Johnny Van Dorn? 10 to go. 90 complete in the Winchester 100. Nine to go for Van Dorn, Foltz, Hance, Braden, and Galata. Rick Turner is closing on Galata for 5th. Foltz with a problem over in turn 2 that time, dropped off the pace a little bit, and Van Dorn puts a few more car lengths on him, and it gets Scott Hans back into a battle for second. 8 to go. Lambert and Fisher slowed up, coming out of 2 in their battle for the 8th position. 7 to go for the Jag 61 of Johnny Van Dorn. The Jags car also with help from Magic Transportation, McGonigal Engine Performance. What a great season he's had coming into this race, leading the standings for the ARCA CRA Super Series. Van Dorn also winning a number of outlaw late model races throughout the Midwest. And Van Dorn very well today, could be in victory lane at Winchester with another feature victory in CRA competition. However, I think Foltz is starting to close once again on Van Dorn. 5 laps remain. Foltz had dropped back to about 7 car lengths behind. He's closed to within 2. Car rolling middle of the turns, much better. And as with most races here at Winchester, even if it looks like it's going to be a runaway, those last few circuits somehow, some way always end up being exciting. It could be the case today. Van Dorn, the lead evaporating as Foltz closes to within a car length in turns 3 and 4. 3 laps to go, and Van Dorn might just have his hands full. Car going away. Foltz looking for his 3rd career World Stock Car Festival victory for CRA. Hans finds himself 8 car lengths back of the lead duo. Lap traffic also ahead. Nate Carruth, Brent Jack, and Mark Lambert could come into play. 2 to go signal in the air. Van Dorn's car sideways on the bottom of the racetrack. He's gone with his car to a very low lane through the turns. Changed it up a lot from what we saw earlier, and Foltz close to the rear bumper. White flag is out. Van Dorn sideways. Foltz is there, looking to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Less than a lap to go. Van Dorn hanging on to a very loose race car. Middle of the back stretch. Foltz, and now Hans is also close. Will Foltz lay the bumper to him? Turns 3 and 4. Van Dorn slides sideways. Foltz to the bottom, coming to the line. Van Dorn wins. Foltz 2nd. 3rd place to Hans. 4th to Braden. 5th to Galata. 6th place to Turner. Finishing 7th is Cozzolino. 8th place will be Fisher. 9th Newick. And 10th is Lambert. What a finish in today's Winchester 100.